In this course, you've already considered the concept of autonomy as it applies to patients, their right to make their own decisions about their medical care, to be told the truth about their prognosis, and so forth. Respecting a patient's autonomy is surely one of the most important principles in all of medical ethics. But of course, patients aren't the only ones with autonomy. Healthcare providers have autonomy too. In this part of the course, we're going to explore some of the ethical issues that arise when the autonomy rights of patients come into conflict with the autonomy rights of healthcare providers. But first, let's revisit some central aspects of autonomy itself. Autonomy is not an easy concept to define. For our purposes, let's think about it as a kind of sphere within which a person gets to define and act on his own goals, plans, and projects. When we say that someone has a right to autonomy, part of what we mean is that he has a right to make decisions and undertake actions within that sphere, and to do so unimpeded by other people. We'll refer to this aspect of autonomy as a negative right to autonomy. A negative right is a right to be free from intrusion or interference by others within that sphere. It is essentially a right to be left alone. Suppose my physician wants me to have a certain invasive procedure. If I say that I don't want it, if I refuse to consent to it, then she can't impose it on me without violating my negative right to autonomy. She shouldn't sneak in and perform it while I'm unconscious. She also shouldn't deceive me into thinking that she's going to be doing something else instead. I may be acting foolishly by refusing to agree to the procedure, but that's my decision. But autonomy seems to involve more than just a right to be free from unwanted interference. Sometimes I can't make important decisions or act on those decisions without the assistance of other people. For instance, in order to understand whether I want a certain invasive medical test performed, I need to understand what the test is, what risks it carries, what it will cost me. Perhaps I don't speak the language being used in the hospital, in which case I will need to have the information translated for me. Without that assistance, I can't effectively exercise my autonomy. And then if I do decide that I want the test, then I'll need the help of medical professionals to perform it and give me the results. This is why it seems plausible to say that autonomy includes not just a negative right to be free from interference with my choices, but also a positive right to assistance I might need in order to understand and carry out those choices. But introducing a positive right to autonomy makes matters a bit trickier. The mere fact that I want or even need your help in order to carry out my decisions doesn't necessarily mean that I'm entitled to your help. There are a number of considerations that seem to make a difference as to whether a person is entitled to the help of others in carrying out her choices. Let's consider 4 of them. First, would helping the person violate any other moral duties or obligations? Suppose that I am in kidney failure and need a transplant. I may have a right to be helped, but I certainly don't have a right that the transplant team go out and get me a kidney from some unwilling donor. My positive right to get help with my medical problem is trumped by the other person's negative right not to have his kidney taken from him against his will. Second, how important is it that the help be provided? If I'm drowning in a pool, I am rather desperately in need of help. That desperate need creates a very strong claim on bystanders to do something to save me. If my problem is just that my towel is out of reach, then my need doesn't create much of a claim on others at all. Third, how well are others situated to help? Clearly, the people in the best position to save me from drowning are those standing nearby. Physical proximity to those needing help can strengthen the requirement to help. Of course, in order to save me, the bystander would also have to know how to swim. Otherwise, we'd probably both drown. So it also matters whether the person has the skills, training, or expertise necessary to help. Fourth, does the person occupy a role or have a job that comes with special role-specific duties to help? If there's a lifeguard working at the pool where I'm drowning, I have an especially strong claim on her help. After all, that's what she's been hired to do, save people from drowning. The requirement for her to help me is different and even more stringent than the requirement for the bystanders to help me. It's part of her job. All four of these considerations are relevant to the question of whether a healthcare provider has a duty to help a patient who needs assistance in carrying out a decision, or whether that provider can ever justifiably refuse to help. In the next video, we'll see how these considerations play out in a controversial real-life case involving pharmacists and prescriptions for contraception.